Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between Zooky and KaydenFox here on Year Zero, the latter edition. Top left-hand corner is the Teal Terran player Zooky, and in the top right-hand corner, the pink Zerg player KaydenFox. Alright, so Midrank Madness is my every other week examination of Platinum and Diamond level StarCraft sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Midrank Madness, or submitted in my Discord server in the Submit a Replay channel. There's a link to the invite in the Discord server. You can use it with your web browser. You can use it as a Windows program. You can use it as an app. And if you want to talk to me, that's the best way to do it. Alright, so... oh, not walling off here is Zooky, throwing up his barracks inside his own base. Has no interest in walling off his ramp. Oh, this is why you drone scout, KaydenFox. This is why you drone scout, instead of just Overlord scouting. If you could get like 6 lings in here, oh man, it would be super great. That said, he's going pretty greedy with that pool. He's not getting it started yet. He is working on up to what looks like it's going to be about a... what are we doing here? Where's my supply? Yeah, about a 17 supply pool, maybe 16 or so. Is he going 3 hatch before pool? Holy cannoli. He's sending this drone out at the... yep. He's going 3 hatch before pool, but he's getting his gas. So he's gas saturating. Then going for the 3rd hatch at 137. Greedy Zerg here. Although Zooky is going for a double barracks opening. He might be able to get some pressure up here that Kayden's not going to be able to handle. Where's your pool, man? There it is. Finally getting the pool down at 16 supply at about 1 minute and 50 seconds. So if this is like a double Reaper style, holy crap, it's going to be a double Reaper style. This might be very, very hard for Kayden to hold on. Hard for Kayden to hold on to. English is my first language, I promise. This SCV needs to get back to work. There's the double gas for the additional Reapers. Getting a reactor. Yep, a reactor on one of these barracks here too. And yeah, we're going to start doing some crazy aggression here. Kayden might not be quite ready for it. But we'll see. The longer this goes, his pool's doing all right for itself. We do have a Reaper. I'm assuming this is only 1 Reaper, which it very well could be. This is going to be Joseph Atwell. As an annoying YouTube commentator, Joseph Atwell was declared illegally insane after obsessively coming up with Reaper and Oracle names for months. And as with all even moderately troublesome people, Joseph was sent to the Reaper program. Joseph Atwell now wonders if these names have become too meta. Perhaps they have, Joseph Atwell. Perhaps they have. Reaper cruising on up here, and there's really nothing to stop it from doing stuff. Right now, there are lings on the way, but there are not going to be any queens. He's like, all right, man. We'll take a free drone kill if you want it. Kitty 8 charge. Nicely done. And then just runs. The thing is, you can't really fight on creep for too much here because the lings are faster than you. But pretty good jukes. And he has to stay on creep just up here. Oh, not the surround. Oh, he gets out. He just barely gets out. Cruises on back down. Hops down here. Hops over here. Doesn't get any kills. That is some really good defense from Kayden there. There are no queens to help. There were a couple Zerglings there to help. They showed up late. 0 drones died. Pretty amazing stuff there. Did he lose an Overlord? He must have just scouted in here and lost an Overlord, right? Maybe up here? Either way, he's supply blocked pretty heavily, and that's the only way that could have happened, is losing an Overlord. Where did... but what killed it? These guys, probably. I would guess these Marines, as there is some pressure coming out right now. It is a small number of Marines. I don't really know what this is going to be, like what this is intended to do. Personally, I mean, Lings can handle this number of Marines, no problem, although Kayden is droning up super mega hard. He doesn't have the Zelnaga Watchtower. He doesn't know what's coming. He's sending a Ling out for the express purpose of figuring this out. And he will, just by the grace of scouting Ling, find these Marines and say, oh, maybe Alaire is a little bit too much here. He is getting some Zerglings. Does he have speed done? Speed is almost done. I mean, some Queens and Lings aren't going to be enough here, but the 3rd base is in trouble. He is saturating his 3rd base, which seems a little bit premature here. He cannot save these drones. Yeah, man, until you have a Queen here, it's really hard to hold it. And I don't know about... oh, free Lings! Ah, Zooky, you gotta kill these Lings. You gotta kill these Lings as they're popping out here. I understand you probably want to take down this hatch, which is a really good thing. It would be fantastic for you. Ah, Reaper doing some stuff. Joseph Atwell. He's got 0 kills, but he's done some work here. Queen does go down. Ling is trying to get that surround off, and they do. The stutter step is pretty fantastic, but there's just too many Lings present, and everybody dies, including Mr. Atwell. So that's what I said. Interesting push. I mean, it forced some Lings out. It killed a Queen. It brought down this hatchery to about 50% health. Medevac hanging over to help, I suppose. Suppose that's what he's doing here. But yeah, it's 27 to 40 workers. Kayden's been macroing up like a boss at this stage. Tank setup, Marines here. That's a pretty good tank Marine setup versus that number of Lings, and the rest of the Lings decide it's time to head on home. So it's not a wall, but even though it's not, it is doing pretty well for itself. No sound is hard. Zooky's playing with no sound? Oh boy, that's rough stuff. That is rough, buddy. I'll tell you that much. All right, so Baneling speed getting started now for KaydenFox. Also that +5 health buff for centrifugal hooks. Resaturating his third base a little bit here too, spreading some creep. And Kayden says, ouch, I'm glad I'm playing with sound, I suppose. That seems like a pretty good thing to me. But yeah, man, it's 44 to 31 workers. Holy crap. KaydenFox has a massive lead that way. Army supply is also 23 to 14, but with tanks out, with Marines out, is he working on upgrades for these dudes? Not really. Combat shield, yes, but no attack upgrades or armor upgrades to speak of. Another tank setting up here. That's some good, that is some good tank setup versus Lings and Banelings. I don't know about this, Kayden. I don't know about this decision here. It seems like a pretty bad one. Both players over 100 APM right now. Playing pretty fast, fighting pretty hard. I'd say this is about a platinum, if I had to guess what level this is. Yeah, that is just too much. Do not go up this ramp. KaydenFox, scout it first. Try to see what's going on up there. Do you have speed? You don't have speed for the Overlords. It's a good upgrade to get. I'm a huge fan of it. You're floating a bunch of money here too, 1,200 to 300 or so. Viking flying around trying to kill Overlords is missing this one that is right next to his own front door. But more and more Lings cruising on out here. So many Lings in production. I don't know about this, man. There are tanks up, kind of walling off with his command center a little bit too. This is such a crazy play to me. I mean, honestly, this is kind of what I like to do against players that I don't respect their abilities, is go for a Ling-Baneling attack right at their natural base when their whole army is sitting there. Something that Fatty's had to learn too. I've been watching a bit of him, Fatty TV on Twitch, and he's been learning Zerg, and he has lost armies because he's just attacked directly into like the natural base where the Terran is sitting there. There's no reason to do that. As Zerg, you want to kill bases that are lightly defended, wipe them out. You want to defend stuff in the middle of the map, but attacking into a fortified position like this is just instant death, is what it is. That medevac? Is that a medevac that died? Is this sitting over here doing nothing, or maybe a Viking? Possibly Viking that flew down and got murdered. Oh, there's that medevac. Zooky completely forgot he had this. Completely forgot he had this. And yeah, man, Kayden is losing his worker lead because he's making so much army. 40 to 39 and tries to go for it, but 3 tanks. Bunch of Marines with combat shield. Marauders in the mix there too. There are some medevacs. This seems like an ill-fated 3-base Baneling bust. It works if your opponent doesn't make tanks. It does not work if your opponent has 3 tanks and is actually not making additional ones. But okay, this is pretty good if you want to shut down a 3rd base though, right? You want to go to a lightly defended area, maybe force a liftoff here, maybe snipe it off before Zooky can respond fast enough to do it. Seems entirely possible, but more and more Marines coming on up here, starting engineering base, starting armory, more medevacs. And yeah, man, the Lings got on in. There are some SCVs transferring a little bit prematurely there. He couldn't save them. Oh, is he getting out? Why would he get out? Oh. Explosions, some SCVs dying, no big deal. Oh, he got him out. He got him out here, but he's taking tank fire, getting right on top of the tanks, though. But the Marines and Marauders survived that battle in the bottom. However, the tanks are getting wrecked by Banelings and Lings, but the target fire pretty darn good. More Lings cruising on up right now, but there's still a tank remaining. No, the tank getting killed by 2 Zerglings. No, the control is not very good there by Zooky. The Zerglings surround here is doing what it can versus these guys, but there's so many medevacs. So many medevacs that we got out. The Lings escaped. And the Marines are still alive. So we're 35 to 25 army supply. Zooky has more stuff. Kayden's going Lings, man. He's playing the Falcon Paladin style of ZVT, where you just throw Lings and Banelings at the problem until it stops breathing. But Zooky's 3rd base has landed. I honestly would probably make this a planetary fortress based on the number of Lings we've seen so far. He has the engineering base. We can do it. He's also working on upgrades. But man, additional tanks would be great. He's got that tank there. He's killing the speed overlord, trying to supply block Kayden a little bit, but no, that's not happening at all. And Kayden just kind of hanging out. He's spreading his creep pretty well. A lot of these tumors could pop additional ones. They're not doing it quite yet. Going for a Spire back home and an Infestation Pit here at 9 minutes. Going to cruise on up here into the 3rd, and once again, not defending it at all. Come on, Zooky. You got to defend this 3rd. You're just going to lose stuff if you keep doing that. There we go. Setting up some Liberators, areas of denial there. KaydenFox would probably be good to go for some Corruptors versus those Liberators if you're into that sort of thing. But yeah, +1/+1 coming in for those Marines and those Marauders, and also Ghosts if we decide to go there too. If you've been watching ZVTs recently at the professional level, a lot of Terrans at the highest levels are going for a lot of nukes versus Zerg. And it's been pretty effective. We've seen some high-level Zergs get killed by that strategy. And we've seen some high-level Zergs win versus that strategy too. So, 50 Lings in production. KaydenFox, you are absolutely 100% Falcon Paladining it right now, good sir. Shoo boy, 62 to 58 army supply, pretty darn even that way. Zooky has the worker lead here too. Kayden's at 36 workers. He's not saturated his third base. He's not saturated his natural base. He's not saturated his main base, but just by one. And here we go, great splits. Scan and clear the creep. Scan and clear the creep. Please, for the love of all that is holy, scan and clear the creep. That's what you gotta do here, Zooky. Come on, man. Thinking about it, he's on the edge of the creep. He has enough energy on one of his orbital commands to do this. He's landing his third base up here instead, which seems pretty darn good. And Liberator's coming over to try to set up the main base here to get some stuff done with Kayden too. I believe some Lings saw that coming, as there was an Overlord. But versus Liberators, oh, no. You got to set up one of them to take down that Queen. If you're going to, oh, you have to kill this creep. Don't be on the creep. Additionally, don't outkick your Liberator coverage. You need your Liberators helping there, man. Why is he not killing this creep? His production tab is empty, sitting on 2,000, 2,000. He's doing the right things, but not really all in the right way. These Liberators do not need to cover the same zone. We need one here and one here, and you can deny this. He's doing the same thing again. Both Liberators set up Defender mode circles in the same place. It is so weird. So weird to me. Finally gets a tank up here, not killing this creep at all. Zooky, how do you not know about killing tumors? How do we not understand how this works? He needs to transfer his guys over to the third base. He's got a lot of SCVs there at the third. Got a lot of Lings and Banelings spread out in different directions here for Mr. Fox. He is going for the Greater Spire at about 12 minutes. And Corruptors clearing out the Liberators in the top right-hand corner of the screen there. So Liberators out. Really didn't end up doing a whole lot there. Zook is at 160 in supply. Kayden is at 103. And +2/+2 on the way for Zooky now. So I like his upgrades. His upgrades are good, considering it's 1-1 that's done for Kayden now, and really no sign of further upgrades. But Corruptors cruising around trying to see if they can kill some stuff. Maybe Caustic Spray on one of these bases. Liberators setting up, tanks setting up, just worried about potential attacks on the ground, but there aren't any. It's just the Corruptors flying around, trying to see what they can do. All right, Lings, Banelings cruising down the left side, trying to see, is there a base here too? And there's not. You're going to be surprised, unfortunately, that there's nothing there. So it's 3 base to 3 base, though. Is he still not transferred his workers over? He's now, just now transferring his workers over to the third base. But he's getting Thors, which are pretty darn good against Broodlords, but it's going to be a lot of Broodlords here very soon. The army supply is fairly similar. I like the composition that Zooky has better, but once the Broodlords show up, you need a lot of Vikings, you need a bunch of Thors, you need something to deal with those. So Zooky's at 150 supply right now, which is amazing. +2 armor is just about done, +2 attacks just about done. +2 is getting started here for the Lings and Banelings for Kayden, but that's nowhere near complete yet. Just barely. Just barely getting started. Liberator setting up in this area, pre-splitting his units, tanks in the back. 5 Broodlords in production, though, and this is where things get a little bit dicey for Zooky. Without those Broodlords, he's fine, but with the Broodlords, suddenly it becomes a lot more problematic. Alright, Lings eventually break through these rocks after 40 years. And here come the Broodlords. Surprise, 14-minute Broods. The Vikings are chasing them away. I think he needs more Vikings. He is double pumping them, which is good. Double pumping here is exactly what you need. Oh, we're dancing. We are dancing here. Don't engage with the Corruptors. Don't do it. Good kiting, though. It's a bit of a dance here. One Corruptor down, one Viking down. Yeah, it's not good trading here at all for these Vikings. Don't fight the Corruptors. Maybe if you can kill one. He's not focusing down the wounded ones, though. They're all wounded, but otherwise okay. Alright, so Corruptor's dying, stimming on up here, trying to get those Brood Lords. Okay, so then Ling's getting all massacred. Oh, the Baneling's doing a little bit of work, but not as much, I think, as Kayden wanted it to do there. More Lings and Banelings are happening. The Corruptors are fighting huge Baneling hits on the ground, though. Where are the Vikings? Where are the other units? Please come on up and assist with this battle. It is nip and tuck right now. Both players are floating a ton of money. 2-2 about to finish up now for Kayden. The Marines need to focus down. The Broods, don't worry about... There we go. The Broodlings do get wiped out, and somehow Zooky does this. Mostly with Marines there. A Viking... Okay, there's one Viking with 2 kills. There's a Thor in here, too. Now counterattacking with a 98-63 army supply lead. We've got 36 Lings in production here by Kayden. No creep spread killing. Oh my gosh, he's killing the creep spread. Holy crap. Did somebody... He figured it out. He figured out how to kill creep spread. That's a major victory. Another scan here would be really, really good. Kayden did expand twice behind that whole thing. Zooky expanded once there too. Ling's trying to make this happen with the surround, but it's just not really going to work out for them here. The upgrades are good on them, but the friendly fire splash damage from the tanks probably doing more damage than anything else there. And suddenly a single Broodlord shows up to try to wipe out all of these tanks. And Kayden does manage to survive there in a situation I don't think he really should have. Army supply is still 79-30 in favor of Zooky. Dude, push out with everybody. Push out with everything you got here, and you can get something done. Kayden is stuck holding down that Z key, which, pro tip, do not just hold down the Z key against Terran. You cannot win that way. It is not a good way to do things at all. Free Broodlord. Yeah, effectively a free Broodlord. That's not good. And, yeah, man, the Corruptors can't even get in here really either. Again, Vikings and Liberators don't want to be fighting here. Don't fight in this location. It allows the Broodlords to be safe from harm. Just come up over this way. Threaten a base. All right, so pro tip for Terrans. Go threaten a base. If you're just wandering around the middle of the map, Zergus feels really comfortable with you staying out there. What they really hate more than anything else is dealing with attacks while they're trying to defend a base at the same time. The Banelings do not finish. Wow, that's huge. That's humongous there, but still trailing a little bit. Still trailing a little bit. More Lings coming on there trying to take down the Thors, but Broodlords are taking direct shots to the face here. More Marines. They got to stim on up. Do you guys have stim? It doesn't matter. The Broodlords are out. They're outnumbered and they're outgunned. Oh my gosh, he does have stim. And that's the GG. Kayden taps out with a 14 army supply. 14 army supply versus 108. Relied way too heavily on the Lings and the Banelings. There were Thors, there were tanks, there were too many Marauders present for that. The medevac count was really high too, and the upgrades were pretty darn good for Zooky as well. So he out-expanded, but I just think it was ill-fated, man. He tried to go for the Baneling bust, couldn't do it. Anytime you Baneling bust a Terran, it's hard for you to come back from that because you just sacrificed a ton of workers effectively to make Lings instead, and you didn't kill your opponent. So you make 297 Zerglings. 297 Zerglings. And you end up with 45 workers, and you lost 3. So you made 48 workers in an 18-minute game, which is just not going to cut it against Terran at all. Especially not if they're on 3 bases and if they're on 4 bases themselves and spending their money fairly well. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, against this combination, the Banelings were good. I mean, it was a good composition. You just didn't have enough because you couldn't afford enough because you didn't have enough money. You just didn't have the saturation numbers that you needed to win this game. I loved the extra hatches, but there were times in the game where you should have sat back and just droned up to like 70 drones and you would have a much, much better time. Good job by Zooky, though. I mean, sure, there were times he lost armies when he didn't need to. There were times his tanks were shelling his own units more than they were shelling the Zergs. That's just kind of how it worked out, but he was able to get up to 4 bases. He was able to get upgrades running, get a lot of production back home. Did figure out eventually how to kill creep tumors. I was worried he didn't know how to do that here at the platinum level, which would have been... How? How exactly would that be possible? I don't know. Gonna be honest, I don't know. All right, cool. Well, that is gonna be it from me for today. This has been Falcon Paladin, coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your mid-rank madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me at Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Ascension before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. Justice. Our duty is unending. I feel your presence. We are as one. Sense a soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Ascension is before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. I sense a soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Sense a soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. I sense a soul, search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Kalarulas. Karamulas. Aklaranus. Naslaran. Kinalatu. Casar di Templare. Daramanaka. Oshara Sashina.